Hi guys, welcome to my channel Happy Hair Tarot. In today's pick a card reading, we will find out what does your future spouse look like. So we'll try to find as many details as possible about their physical appearance. So you've got 3 kings over here to choose from. Group 1, your card is the King of Pentacles, and this is what it looks like. Group 2, you've got the King of Wands, and this is what it looks like. And group 3, you've got the King of Swords, and this is what your card looks like. So you want to choose by the signs, you can do that, the colors, or just in general, whatever imagery is calling out to you the most. So pause the video over here, make your choice. Timestamps are given in the pinned comment and description box, and let's get started. Hi Group 1, if you guys chose the King of Pentacles, first let's take a look at your oracle cards to find out what does your future spouse look like. So the cards that came out for you are Grey Squirrel, find new ways of solving problems, Child Orphan, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving, Alpha Centaurians, foresight, planning, strategy, and Dharma, unfolding. Remember that you're on a path, take one step at a time to happiness. All right, just a second. Okay. Group 1, first things first, I don't think your future spouse looks their actual age. They might be older than you, but they will look younger than you. All right, so let's say, for example, that you are 25 and they are in their 30s. All right, but they look like they're in their late teens or early 20s. I can see over here that there's something very calm about their demeanor. Their face seems to be very, very calm, very composed. They might even have a faint smile on their face at all times. They seem to be someone who, appearance-wise, looks very warm and welcoming, someone who looks very approachable. You can easily walk up to them, strike a conversation with them. And you know how some people, like appearance-wise, they seem to be very sweet, right? This is one such person. They look very sweet, very kind. Their eyes, they always seem to be slightly twinkling. There is sheer happiness in their eyes when they're making conversation with someone who matters to them and someone whom they love. Their eyes in general seem to be very expressive. They might have really nice almond-shaped eyes or big round eyes. And like I said, their eyes are very expressive. So sometimes, even if your future spouse isn't exactly telling you what's wrong with them or how are they feeling, if you look at their eyes, and as we all know, eyes never lie. And in this individual's case, they definitely don't. So that'll be a big clue for you as to what's up with them or what are they thinking or what's going on in their headspace or heart space. They do seem to be someone who has a very chiseled face, sharp jawline. They might be someone who has a very laid back style sense when it comes to clothes, like athleisure, for instance. I don't think they're always in their gym clothes, but whatever it is that they wear seems to be made from a choice of comfort rather than what's in or what's trending or what's considered stylish these days. They might have small ears. They might have gray hair or salt and pepper hair, can have blonde hair. In fact, they could have gone through a phase in their life where they had really long hair, or perhaps when they meet you, they'll have long hair and you might ask them to cut it. So they'll happily agree to it. They might have a wheatish skin tone or like slightly yellow skin tone. It can be fair as well for some of you. I do feel like they have a few favorite colors that they like to dress, mostly in blues, yellows, greens, reds. In fact, I'm being told that there is a particular chunky sweater that they have that they find any excuse to wear. They'll find any excuse to wear that sweater. I just heard that a second time. Okay, I get it. So this might be one of those people who have lots of clothes in their wardrobe, but they always go for 2-3 favorite items of theirs. Totally relatable. But anyway, that's how they are. This is someone who's very, very wise as well. I know we're trying to gauge their physical appearance, but let's just talk a little bit about how they are as well. This is definitely an old soul. They've been here before. They might be very religious or very spiritual. They have a very good connect with the universe either way. This is someone who's very sure of where their happiness lies, and they've mapped their whole life out accordingly. So they know what they want and they go after it. They're also very intuitive, very skilled, very practical. They come up with the most unique solutions to everyday problems. In general, this might be someone who's always quick to give you an answer to your question or to help you solve a particular problem that you're facing, whether it's in your personal life or whether it's in your professional life. This is also someone who, despite being an old soul, is very young at heart, not just appearance, but at heart too. So they're still pretty well connected to their inner child. They still engage in activities that they loved doing as a child, such as some favorite video games of theirs or some favorite cartoons that they might like to rewatch, some favorite movies of theirs that are a favorite, and they still have those movies in their collection. And whenever they're looking for some comfort, they rely on these things. They're very practical. They always have a plan in place. So if you're someone who's impulsive, then I feel like this will be a good match for you because they're a planner. So together, you both will complement each other really well. They're always very future focused. I don't think this individual worries too much about what has happened in the past. It's always about, okay, done and dusted, what next? It also seems like this is someone who's always looking at different ways in which they can upgrade themselves. How can they improve themselves? How can they become the best version of themselves? All right, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. So we have the King of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and Seven of Pentacles. All right, so they might be someone who likes to wear fashion jewelry, whether they're a man or a woman. They might be someone who likes to wear bracelets, dainty necklaces. If this is a man, they might have a full-grown beard. I mean, I did see a beard here as well. So for some of you, it'll be not a very thick beard. For some of them, it'll be a full-ass thick beard. I think I mentioned salt and pepper hair. That has come out again over here. And I love how in this card also the individual is smiling. They have a very calm and soft face, and I'm picking similar vibes over here from the King of Cups as well. And just in general, I'm smiling for no reason. So I mean, that's not me. That's this person whose energy I'm channeling for you guys right now. This is a friend first and a lover later for sure. Might be someone whom you meet at your workplace or because of your work. For some of you, of course, not for all of you. Might even be in the same community as you, same neighborhood as you, same society as you. This connection might take some time to get off the ground, but once it has started, there's just no looking back. This individual is very, very patient as well. So again, they might compliment you because, not saying definitely, but perhaps some of you are a bit short-tempered. They're very calm, they're very composed. So again, that gets balanced out pretty well. They might be someone who has really nice full lips, a big prominent nose, a perfect smile, although they don't like to flash their teeth when they're smiling. You know, some people have a very toothy smile, and then some people keep their mouth closed when they're smiling. So this is one such person who has got really nice, like a pearly white smile, but they prefer not to show their teeth or not to flash their teeth when they're smiling. Personal choice, of course. One thing that is coming out about this person is that even though they're very future focused, very practical, calm and composed and everything, sometimes they might be very hard on themselves. You know, sometimes they might be their biggest critic. They might find out faults in themselves which really make no sense or don't really exist. Sometimes they might stress about trivial things, and that's where you come in. You know, you might help them see that whatever it is that they're doing or however it is that they are is it's great, it's going well. They have absolutely no reason to worry, because the thing about the energy of the Eight of Swords is that it's usually just all up in our head. Those things or those problems don't actually exist, or at least the magnitude isn't as great as what our mind tricks us into believing. So I told you that there are a lot of things where they will be helping you out, such as finding problems to your solutions, giving you good plans to follow and such. But of course, there are places where you will be helping them as well. They might be a workaholic. So, of course, again, to help them take out time for themselves, to help them, take out that much needed me time or self love, those are some traits that you might have to help them with a little bit. Okay, now let's look at these cards to find out some more traits of them. Before that, they might have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay, yeah, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or Gemini, Libra, Aquarius in their chart. So, let's see. Spirit, what is for one future spouse look like? What is for one future spouse look like? Alright, so we have black eyes, a tattoo. They might have a tattoo on their neck, face, arms, legs, wherever. Freckles, alright, they might have a really nice freckled skin, freckles on their cheeks or wherever. I heard dimples also for some reason. Maybe it's because freckles and dimples sometimes can be found in the same person. So perhaps your individual, your future spouse, this not exactly very dimple-ish, but can be. Beard, definitely. We've seen beards everywhere over here today. Pale or fair-skinned. All right. Short, spiky hair. All right. Might be in the military for some of you, or just in general likes to keep short and spiky hair if they're a man. A mole, all right. So they might have a very prominent mole somewhere on their face or on their body. And thin lips. From the cards, I picked up on full lips, but we've got thin lips also. So for some of you, your spouse will have full lips. For others of you, your spouse will have thin lips. Regardless, they'll be kissable. All right, so these are all the messages that I have for you today, Group 1. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here and hit the bell icon when you do so. You can also follow me on Instagram for more tarot readings, and you can message me on Instagram, WhatsApp, or email to book a personal reading with me. You'll find all those details in the pinned comment and description box. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hi Group 2, if you guys chose the King of Wands, first let's take a look at your oracle cards to find out what does your future spouse look like. So the cards that came out for you are Hyena, Dare to be Different. Then we have Guide, represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Syrians, Artistic Integrity, Honesty. And we have Magic, Manifesting, your dreams, visions and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. First things first, Group 2, in case you have a very, what's the word for that? A very clear vision of what would you want your future spouse to look like, you can most definitely manifest towards it, because there's a huge possibility of you marrying someone who matches the kind of features that perhaps you've been wishing for or hoping for to find in the person that you spend the rest of your life with. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing shallow about it. We all have a type, right? All right. So your future spouse for sure looks very different from the rest of the crowd. There is something that sets them apart. This can be anything. For instance, maybe they're not from your country, but they live in your country. So automatically, because of the way that they look, they're very different from the rest of the crowd. It can have something to do with their height. Maybe they're very tall. So again, that sets them apart from the crowd. Because there is an artist in them, even if they're not an artist by profession. So they might have that, those artistic moods or dreamy attire sometimes, something very unconventional that they like to dress as. So that again sets them out from the crowd. But the best thing is that your future spouse couldn't care less about what anybody else thinks of them or their appearance. Now, don't think that just because they look different, they look bad, because they don't. This is a very gorgeous energy over here that has come out. So without a doubt, your future spouse is very, very good looking, whether they're a masculine or a feminine. They have a very straight face. Their face doesn't reveal much about what's going on in their head or in their heart. So it can take you some effort to make them open up or communicate clearly with you about how are they thinking or what are they feeling. This is also someone who has very intimidating eyes. You, of course, will end up as their future spouse, so there will be that level of comfort between you both. But for the outsiders, they can have a bit of a hard time trying to establish eye contact with your spouse. In fact, I'm being told that 8 out of 10 times your future spouse looks like they're pissed off, even though they're not. So they might be someone who has a resting bitch face, or they just in general, like I said, have a very straight face, don't really smile much. So people being people might assume that your future spouse is a bit uptight or they're a bit snooty, even though they're not. In fact, with Guide over here, this is someone who's extremely resourceful, very helpful, will never turn down someone who approaches them for any sort of help. They will go beyond their capacity to do as much as they can for others. In general, this might be someone who's a bit of a philanthropist. They might have fair skin or brown skin, tan skin, jet black hair, blue eyes. And like I said, there's something about their eyes that's very, very captivating. It's very mysterious. It's like they aren't revealing much, but then it's enough to keep you hooked on, like that. This might be someone who has long hair, whether or not they're a masculine or feminine. Someone who also likes to wear some sort of dainty jewelry, again, regardless of whether they're a masculine or feminine. Might have someone who has braided hair or beads in their hair, short ears, can have a round face or an oval face. This person, I feel like there's nothing in their life that they have wanted, but they haven't been able to accomplish. Ever since they were a child up until the present times, whenever they have wanted something with all their heart and soul, they have manifested that into their reality. Of course, they've met universe halfway for it. They've put in their bit into it too, their effort, but they get what they want. And additionally, with the presence of Guide over here, I do feel like this is an old soul. And I'm also being told that they're an all-rounder. They're someone who's naturally good at pretty much everything, whether it is their core subjects or some artistic thing, like we can see over here, some other hobby or passion of theirs, world knowledge. This is someone who isn't just book smart, they're street smart too. So they pretty much know everything. You can have conversations with them on a diverse range of topics. All right, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. Some of them might have freckles also, or I'm being told that they have a mole above their lip, above their upper lip, I mean. All right, so the cards that came out for you are Knight of Wands, the Magician. Okay, look, so we have Magician over here and we also have Manifesting. So group 2, definitely, if you haven't met your future spouse yet, and if you have a particular image in your mind about what do you want your spouse to look like, you should definitely focus on manifesting. And we have the 4 of Cups and Strength. So we've got Leo energy over here, we've got Knight of Wands over here. This person is incredibly, incredibly good looking. They're not pretty, they're sexy. All right, they're not cute, they're sexy. I mean, of course, they're pretty, I take that back, but they might not be a model by profession, but and again, I'm not saying that models look better than the regular folks like us, but I don't know, there's just something about your future spouse which seems as if they're very uptight, very high maintenance, must be using lots of expensive products for skincare or something, because they just look very, as if they're just straight off the ramp, and walking amongst us common folks. But that's not true. Like I said, this is someone who's in reality very humble, very grounded. It's just that this is one of those people who are judged a lot by their cover, even though they're nothing like it. With the Knight of Wands over here and the 4 of Cups, there are a lot of people who are crushing on your future spouse as we're speaking. All right, but the thing about your future spouse is that they are not really into any of the options that are currently available around them. They might be getting proposals every day, people hit on them every day, people try to, slide into their DMs and this and that, but they don't engage. Your future spouse just doesn't engage. And see, this is what happens. because they don't waste their time in all these people for a simple obvious reason that they don't like them, and that should be reason enough. But all these people who keep getting rejected by your future spouse might be the lot who has come up with this rumor that your future spouse is very uptight and very snooty, just because they aren't getting the kind of attention that they want from your spouse. Your spouse, despite being an old soul, might look somewhat younger than their actual age. In general, it might be very difficult for someone who's meeting them for the first time to guess how old they are. They might have colored hair, some colored highlights in their hair, or just in general, they might have changed their natural hair color. For instance, they might be someone who's naturally blonde, but they like to wear their hair black or brown, like that. They might have a bit of a bohemian fashion sense. They might be someone who likes to switch between, if they're a man, they like to switch between keeping a beard and then being clean shaved. And look at this contrast over here between the lamb and the lion. And this again confirms what I'd been feeling, that what people think about your future spouse based on their appearance is drastically different from how your spouse is in real life. They might have wheatish skin tone as well, in case I haven't already mentioned. Blonde hair, brown hair. I think I'd already spoken about black hair. Okay. They might be someone who likes to wear some bracelets or some fashion jewelry. I think we'd already covered that. Might be having Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio in their chart. Sometimes they look very detached as well. For example, if they're in a party or a conference or a meeting, if you look at them, they might feel like, it might look like they're regretting being present in that room, but that's not true. That's just, like I said, that's just how their face is. Okay, let's take a look at some more physical traits of your future spouse, group 2. Spirit, what does group 2's future spouse look like? What does group 2's future spouse look like? What does group 2's future spouse look like? Spirit, what does group 2's future spouse look like? Okay, so we have beard. I did mention that they keep fluctuating between keeping a beard and then completely removing it. We have olive or brown skin. So again, this might be someone who belongs to another country, but now they're living in your country. And which is why, because of their complexion, they look different from the rest of the local crowd. Might have curly hair, black hair. We already got that from the cards. So nice long black curly hair, thin lips, piercing. They might have a piercing. We did pick up on jewelry, so makes sense. Some of them might also have a piercing. Ears are pierced, nose is pierced, lips might be pierced, mustache, all right, and black eyes. Okay. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now, group 2. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here. They might have a tattoo as well. And hit the bell icon when you do so. You can also follow me on Instagram for more tarot readings, and you can message me on Instagram, WhatsApp, or my email to book a personal reading with me. You'll find all those details in the pinned comment and description box. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hi group 3, if you guys chose the King of Swords, first let's find out using your oracles, what does your future spouse look like? So we've got Turtle, be joyful and trusting. We have Athlete, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. We have Grace, tall, utilitarian, organized, intimidating. And we have divine healing, honor your sensitivity, retreat to recharge and heal, your light can support others. Okay, so right off the bat, this is someone who takes time to open up to new people, all right? They might be very popular, very famous in their community, but despite that, they have a very limited number of people that they actually hang out with. So this individual is socially selectively social. Another interesting thing about your future spouse is that they seem to be an extrovert, but they're not. They're actually an introvert. They're very shy, even though because they're like quite popular, might be an active participant of different sports meets, captain of the football team, the basketball team, or whatever else. So they might seem like they interact with a lot of people, very popular, very social, but they're not. They only hang out, like I said. I'm also being told that when your future spouse is around new people, they only speak when spoken to. But here's the thing, once you actually get to know them, they're very interesting personality wise. They love to make jokes, they love to pull pranks on people, they're always laughing, smiling, giggling, having a nice time with, like I said, their close set of friends. So for people who don't know your spouse all that well, they might seem to be someone who's a bit uptight, a bit reserved. But people who know your future spouse personally, they know just like your future spouse can be the life of the party, someone who brings all of that awesomeness with them whenever they enter a room. Your spouse seems to be someone who has a very like chiseled face or very well symmetrical face, long face, oval face, long nose. Might be someone who does not like to keep a beard if they're a man. Can have black hair, brown hair, might even have reddish undertones in their hair. Definitely tall, and because they have this athletic body, so they're ripped. Good physique. I'm not picking up on anything like too muscular or too bulky. It just seems to be a very, like I said, like well-toned athletic body. Sort of how you can find in cricket or swimmers for that matter. The thing about your future spouse though is that because of their popularity, there are a lot of people who want to get to know them personally, but your future spouse doesn't allow that. It seems like your future spouse has very clear boundaries set in place and they do not entertain everyone who wishes to get close to them. Your future spouse might also have freckles on their face. In fact, it's quite likely over here that your future spouse could have undergone a full-ass glow-up from their teens to their adulthood. If you look at their old photographs, you might have seen that they, as a teenager, when they were hitting puberty, they might have had a lot of acne on their face, but now they have this clear skin, very good looking. In fact, like I said about the glow-up, this could have been one of those people whom you perhaps wouldn't have looked at twice when they were going through that stage, but now people cannot seem to take their eyes off this person. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. Before that, there might be someone who has pale skin, fair skin, might even have like olive skin, brown skin. I can see that there's more to this individual. Like people might think that this, your future spouse is just a pretty face, but there's so much more depth to their personality, which, like I said, not everybody is aware of. Your future spouse is very sensitive. They might be very intuitive. They might be an empath. And occasionally they want to retreat from everybody else to recharge their social batteries. So every once in a while, your future spouse likes to be left alone. They value their me time supremely. And of course, nobody should take it to their heart because being a sensitive individual, they need that alone time, like I said, to, as it says over here, to recharge and heal. This also looks like someone who is very happy in their own company. They, like I said, they do have a limited set of friends, but even if nobody is around, this doesn't seem to be the kind of person who will feel all gloomy and sad about it. They're definitely not clingy for that matter. They can take themselves out on dates, they can go watch a movie all by themselves, they can go watch a game all by themselves. They wouldn't complain. It just doesn't matter to them. Your future spouse also has immense willpower. If they have decided to do something, they do not rest until they've accomplished that particular goal. Every once in a while, your future spouse likes to push themselves as well. So especially if they're an athlete or there's a particular sport that they're very good at, every now and then they try to beat their own record. I'm also being told that your future spouse views themselves as their biggest competitor, which is fantastic. They're not really a part of the rat race. There's nobody that they're trying to beat except their own past self. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. So we have the King of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. There can be a considerable age difference between you and your future spouse. Some of you, again, like I said over here with the Four of Pentacles, your future spouse is shy. They do not open up to new people that easily, but once they do, it seems like, you know what, like once they do warm up to you, open up to you, it won't feel like you're meeting them for the first time. They'll feel very familiar. In fact, the friendship, the connection, everything, you just hit it off with them pretty instantly. For a few of you over here today, you've already met your future spouse, and for the rest of you, that's going to happen pretty soon. And even though this is going to be a new person, they won't feel like you're meeting them for the first time. Like I said, they'll feel very familiar. Another specific message over your group 3 for you today is that your future spouse might resemble someone whom you used to have a crush on as a child. So growing up, if you had a favorite actor, your future spouse quite possibly might resemble that particular individual. They might like to keep a beard, full beard, or just a little stubble, but I definitely can see that over here. This can be someone who as a child used to be very plump or very chubby, and then once they grew up, once they got into sports and athletics and everything else, you know, they became very ripped and toned, lost all of that baby fat. And that's why, again, like I said, if you look at their pre-puberty pictures and then if you look at them now, there's a drastic difference in their appearance. Your future spouse has a very casual dressing sense, as I can see. Simple jeans, t-shirt, or joggers and a top, joggers and a t-shirt, or a hoodie, sneakers, basically anything that makes them feel comfortable. Might be heavily into what is this called, checks, or there's another word that I cannot think of right now. So that might be someone who likes to wear a bit of a fashion jewelry, can be someone who loves animals, you know, is an animal lover, has pets, adopts animals, or volunteers in animal shelters. So like I said, you know, they're so kind and they're so loving and caring. It's just that, and I feel like it's a privilege, you know, the kind of person that this individual is, it's really a privilege if you get to see all these softer sides of them. And I'm also being told that it's quite possible that growing up, people could have mocked them for their sensitivity. People could have mocked them for, you know, oh, you know, why are you crying just because we hurt an animal? You're such a sissy and this and that. And maybe that is when your future spouse realized that not everyone will understand how they are as a person. So it's best that they only interact with the ones who will. And that's what has led us up to how they are as a person today, selectively social. But to know them on a deeper level, it's definitely a treat. Okay. They might have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn in their chart. So now to close your reading, let's take a look at some more physical features of this person. I think I've already told you their complexion can be fair, pale. They might also have a really tan skin or brown skin. Some of them have a long face, some of them have a small face, but they're definitely tall or average height at least. I'm not seeing anyone who's short-heighted over here, although of course for some of you it can be. They might be someone who's big on trekking and hiking and going on nature trails, just someone who's very outdoorsy, loves spending time outdoors. Even though they're loaded, they have a lot of money, they've created a lot of wealth for themselves, they don't they're not big on spending their money. They're not a miser, but they're very careful with where they're investing their money and where they're spending their money. So this is not the kind of person who will mindlessly spend money on a particular thing just because it's in fashion or just because everybody cannot, you know, just seem to shut up about it. Unless and until they're fully convinced that they need something, only then will they invest money in it. So clearly over here, this is an individual who prioritizes their needs above their wants. You know, need and want are different. If they were a spendthrift, they would have, you know, like, oh, I'm going to buy this, I want this, I like this, I'm going to buy this. But your future spouse isn't like that. I'm also being told that for a lot of you, your future spouse comes from a family that is generationally very rich, but your future spouse has, you know, sort of like branched out from there and they're doing something of their own and they've accomplished great success in it. So rightly so, they've made their own money and they're pretty good at it. Another specific message just came through. Some of you have already met your future spouse when you guys were kids, or perhaps your parents moved around a lot. So whenever you were stationed at a particular place, that's where you met them. But then as you guys grew up, you lost touch, never really bothered to connect with each other on social media. But because this is the person you'll be ending up with, through destiny, you both will cross paths with each other again. And because they've been through such a drastic change appearance wise, it might take you a hot minute to recognize them. Okay, so let's find out more about the appearance of your future spouse, group 3. Spirit was group 3, future spouse look like. What does group 3's future spouse look like? Okay, so we have green eyes. That's really nice. Tall. Makes sense. I mean, they're an athlete, so dark or tan in complexion. Average height. Okay, so for some of you, your future spouse is tall. For some of you, they have an average height. But because we have tall over here, it means that regardless of whether you're a masculine or feminine, your future spouse might be slightly taller than you. Then we have freckles. I did pick up on that. So they have freckles on their face or their body. Short spiky hair. We do have sort of like short spiky hair over here. If there's someone in the military, or you know, like an inclination towards that lifestyle, then too perhaps they like to keep their hair short and spiky. Pale or fair in complexion. And muscular. I did say that they are not very like bulky when it comes to muscles, but I was using the word ripped a lot. So for sure, this is someone who has, I mean, you like them, all right? They have an athletic body, they're muscular, they're tall, they're good looking. And it makes sense then, you know, like why does everybody want a piece of them? But they're very, very selective with who do they extend themselves to. All right, so these are all the messages that I have for you right now, group 3. If you like this reading, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new over here, and hit the bell icon when you do so. You can also follow me on Instagram for more tarot readings, and you can message me on Instagram, WhatsApp, or my email to book a personal reading with me. You'll find all those details in the pinned comment and description box. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.